What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. We hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sports. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce, and we got Big Sammy D in the house, aka all the rookies, joining us today. How you both going?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for having me on board. Stoked to be a part of your podcast and see what I can give to the community and out to your followers as well. Yeah, stoked.
I'm
Very nice.
good, Doma. Good to connect with another person that we've been following for a while on the socials. Has an interesting collecting aspect to it. Something a bit different, something a bit left field. And people have been talking about these sort of type of trading cards, which Sammy D is very heavily involved in. Dragon Ball Z. Me myself, massive Dragon Ball Z fan. Still watch the anime. Still, keep up to date with all that sort of stuff. Do collect the figures, the SHI figures, which is my sort of Dragon Ball Z collection. Never thought about collecting the cards, but I see some of the posts that Sammy puts up, and there are some absolute bangers out there, which would be cool to jump on board and collect some of that stuff. But on the flip side, he also does collect basketball cards, so a bit of a adverse thing, like me myself collecting Pokemon and then collecting basketball. So it's gonna be good to jump into it.
Definitely. All right, Sammy. Let's get straight into it. Tell us about yourself and how you got involved in the hobby.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, I grew up on the Gold Coast. Up here. If anyone's not really familiar, it's right below Brisbane, about an hour drive from Brisbane, just in Australia and Queensland. And I basically have been in the fitness industry for the past 15 years. So left high school, jumped in as a PT, and I've pretty much been in dabbling in the whole fitness world, online, offline, face-to-face clients, and all that as well. And now just recently gone more online because obviously COVID here, things happening in the gym. So now I'm a bit more face to face online and helping clients lose weight, gain muscle, more energy, all that type of stuff. So all in the fitness industry. Um, and yeah, so that's pretty much me now. And I'm heavily into basketball. I'm heavily into surfing. I surf. I play basketball. I played growing up, quite high level, just below NBL. Trained a lot of the NBL players in basketball, so that's why I'm heavily involved in the cards as well. Um, and yeah, a little bit in martial arts also. So a bit of everything, and that's obviously my fitness background. I like to do a bit of everything, and that's probably why I collect a bit of everything now as well.
I like it. I like it. So you enjoy collecting NBA and Dragon Ball Z Super Dragon Ball Heroes cards. What
Yeah.
got you into, obviously, you explained your sporting side of things, but what got you into, obviously, the anime, the TCG, the Dragon Ball Z cards?
Yeah. So with the Dragon Ball stuff, like I actually collected the Dragon Ball Z cards back when I was younger. So I was probably about, I know I collected basketball from about the age of 8, but Dragon Ball Z was a little bit after that. Maybe I was about 13, 14, 15, around that age. And because we heavily watched it here on TV, I think it was on in the morning shows here on Cheese TV back in the day.
Cheese TV, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember that very well and got into it. And obviously, I was always into sport and training. So I was like, oh, Dragon Ball Z's kind of my thing. It's all fitness. You actually learn a lot about fitness and training and that. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I just heavily got into that. I mean, I watched a little bit of Pokemon growing up. Kind of wasn't my thing, so to say, even though it was okay when you were younger, everyone watched it. But Dragon Ball Z, it just stuck with me. And yeah, so I did collect a bit. The cards I had from then, I'm not sure where they've gone. I think they've probably gone with all of my other cards that I ended up throwing away, regrettably now. A lot of people have gone through that as
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
So yeah, that's what got me into the Dragon Ball Z, and then now, you know, years on, Dragon Ball Super recently came out a few years ago, and I've watched all of that. Got the DVDs, Dragon Ball Super, and man, it's again, it's like lifted up that sort of nostalgia effect and got me going again. So got me the energy going, and then the cards just came perfect timing as well. So heavily into the Dragon Ball Super cards, so it's just kind of clicked all together again.
Very nice. Now, we've had a lot of people ask us. We've been in a few lives and they've asked us, and um, I kind of know probably 2% of your knowledge on the cards, and that 2% is because I was asking John about Dragon Ball cards, and he goes, "You're talking to the wrong person here, Donna." He goes, "Go follow this page, go have a look at all the rookies, and ask. Just send him a DM and see how you go." So obviously, I got in contact with you, and you gave me a good rundown. But I think because so many people are now asking us, and then we just keep obviously we direct them to your page, and we're just like, yeah, go follow this page, follow this page. So it's a perfect opportunity now. Obviously, you've got a YouTube channel as well, but a perfect opportunity just to give a nice explanation. We can pump this out and we can say, this is where you go. Come listen to
Yeah,
the podcast.
yeah, man. Look,
Answer
I've
the questions.
100%. Number one, appreciate you pushing people or sending people my way as well. I mean, you kind of think you have no idea that anyone's thinking you're a bit of an expert or that you know more than anyone else. So that's really good to hear, and I'm glad that it's doing something right as well in the Dragon Ball Super community. But yeah, like I've just learnt on the fly. Just kind of did a little bit of research here and there. I couldn't find too many YouTube videos out there, so I tried to go to YouTube to find a bit. Then I looked a bit on through Reddit, and just did my own research to figure it out, because I always find, if you go into a new thing or something that you're not sure about, just do research. Just find as much as you can. Like what you've done, you go and ask other people who you see might have a good collection or have been collecting for a while, and then kind of grab ideas through them. But I remember when I first looked at it, I had no idea really what SPR is, or an SCR, a secret rare, special rare was, because I was used to the scorecards from the 2000s. So I did start there first. Just recently, towards mid last year, I went back into those cards that I used to collect, which are the scorecards from 2000 between 2004. And I was heavily looking at some of the Gokus, because that's the guy I collect. And I was looking at some of they've got rares. It's a little bit different in the score stuff from the year 2000s. So they've got your star Dragon Balls on each card, and they all have a different rarity, and that's how you figure it out. Whereas opposed to now with the secret rares, if you'll see in the bottom corner of Dragon Ball Super, you'll have SER or UC for uncommon or C for common. I had no idea what that was, because there's all these numbers next to it as well, so it's very confusing when you're first looking at it. So going back to the old scorecards, they have, say, 5-star is a rare card. Then you have a 5-star foil, which is kind of like your Pokemon where you have foil, non-foil. And then you have your ultra rare, which is like 6-star Dragon Ball on the card. And I think they have a couple of different foil variations as well. And they're your most put after the cards. And then you've got your promos and stuff as well. So I kind of went back there and grabbed a few nice looking cards for the collection now. I've sent a few off to grading. I think only Beckett really grade those cards, those sort of older Dragon Ball Z cards. So I sent them off to Beckett, and it seems to be the more, I guess, sought after grading company as opposed to PSA with those cards. And then I suppose when you go back to Dragon Ball Super, I started to look at those, the rarities and the numbers, and it did take me a little while to figure it out. Kind of looking at, okay, what's SPR? Is that the most rare one? Is that the most sought after? And then SCR, is that the most sought after? And how many do you get per case or per box, and figure it all out? So yeah, I really did a bit of research and figured out that it kind of went, SPR, which is special rares. They were, when I was looking at it, quite very cheap. And again, I just got back into it to reasons of nostalgia effect. Just seemed to be great timing, and then it just kind of has boosted up in price. You got your SCRs, which is your secret rares, your more sought after cards, and your higher end big cards go that way now as well. And with the Dragon Ball Super, kind of now you can grade with PSA, and that's kind of becoming a bit more the popular grading company with those newer modern cards.
Every other card on the whole entire market.
Yeah, but also now it's funny because
backlog, I reckon
BGS.
everyone's sending stuff there.
Yeah, I know. Who's waiting? I've got so many cards there too. But so going back to that, with the Dragon Ball Super, you've still got BGS is heavily invested in for collecting because of the Dragon Ball Z cards. So that's a really good thing to know. So if you do have some really decent Dragon Ball Super cards, you can looking at BGS is really good because collectors, investors, or mainly collectors as well, love the Beckett 10s or black labels, and they're highly a little bit easy to get in the Dragon Ball Super cards because they're quite new. They're very well made, so there is a lot of a better chance, I'd say, to get black labels and BGS 10s. So collectors big on BGS and Beckett. Yeah. So there's a lot going on. Yeah.
How do you go with just a quick one? Sorry, just like I'm on. I've got your page up in front of me right here, so I'm just clicking on these.
Yeah.
Like I always go through and just look at the Dragon Ball Z cards. I've probably seen them about 400 times on your page, but you know what? It still interests me because I absolutely love the show. So when it comes to obviously the foils, like, well, technically they're probably not called this, but it's like the full art, like a Pokemon card. The new ones, they got full art cards. That's what literally these special rares and secret rares are. They're so sick. Obviously, it covers the whole entire card. There's not really any borders. That like the design is the border. So, do you have any issues that you've noticed when it comes to like bends in the foil because of like the printing? How it's like, is there any things that it's like there could be a scratch and it goes through the card, and then obviously to go grade that card, you're like, oh, there's issues like with any of them?
Good question. Like if you go back to the old Pokemon cards from 1999, obviously they're made differently. Some versions were definitely made quite well somehow, even going back over years now. But you get that some of the foil cards will bend quite a bit, like they'll bend inwards, and it might depend on the foiling. So some of the sort of flat foiling with no I guess shine to it. It's just kind of just that flat foiling look. It's not very glossy compared to some of the other rares and ultra rares. That sort of foiling, they do tend to bend a lot. Like I've got some cards. I think I can even say, here's a good example. I've got like a Rohan here, and I don't know if you can see, but it's bent.
Oh yeah,
goes right over and bends inwards, and that's just that flat. That's kind of like base foiling of a personality card. Oh, and that's another thing. Personality cards, ones with the numbers on it, they're the most sort of sought after cards.
Okay.
So
are they numbered?
You've got your. They're not numbered. They just have different rarities as well, but they're just kind of like your battle cards. So they're the ones that you'll use as your, say, character, and then you have all the other cards that have like your attacks and whatnot. So you can block an attack, and they have different pictures. Say it's a picture from the cartoon, and it will just have the writing, and still it can be rare cards. Still some sought after cards in that realm of the sets, but I don't really collect those. So to say, I go for more of the personality cards. They're just the most better looking sought after cards as well. And I guess if anyone else like yourself who just used to watch it coming in, your eyes would go straight to those cards as well.
How about cracking packs? Have you opened packs of Dragon Ball Z and things of that nature? And how's that gone for you? If you've opened any?
Yeah, cracking the packs. It's really hard to get the rares and the ultra rares and the foil, because you've got foiled and non-foiled rares. Like you might get a Goku 5-star, which is a rare, out of maybe one box or maybe one every few boxes, but then it might not be foiled. So that's how hard it can be to get these cards. So you get the card that you want, but then it's non-foil. It's already so hard to get because they'll have, say, 4 personality level cards. So it's not like, you just get Charizard and that's it, there's Charizard. There'll be 4 different Gokus. There'll be stage 1 of Goku, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. So there's different cards that you can get of that character. So you can see that, then you've got Frieza, then you've got Vegeta, then you've got Gohan. You've got all these different characters that you can get all their different levels.
Yeah.
So you can see when you're opening packs, you're not getting a personality card in each pack. You're probably getting a personality card every 3 or 4, 5 packs.
And then, it could be like a level 1, not a level 4, which is what you want, really, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
exactly.
Wow.
So super, it is very rare compared to
Yeah, just trying to put
other
it out to the people
collectibles.
out there, like anyone that's probably interested in maybe cracking packs that, even in the Dragon Ball game, it's much similar to say Pokemon or basketball, where it's just there's no guarantees.
Yeah,
It's all a gamble. So I mean, although it would be fun to crack some packs, how about like the promo cards that I've seen? There's some promo cards that come in certain boxes where you're guaranteed the promo card, and we've seen it on occasion where some of those promo cards do end up, becoming some, valuable in the future. I don't know how that situation transitions into Dragon Ball cards, but I mean, I know in Pokemon there are
yeah.
situations where the certain promo cards have, held value over a period of time. So, I mean, have you found any of that, have you found that transitioning into Dragon Ball, where the promo cards, which you're guaranteed to get in certain boxes that you obtain, sustain value, especially if you grade those promo cards?
Yeah, some particular promo cards. So there's promo cards that I think you could get them in chip packets. You could get them in expansion packs, deck building packs that were smaller than booster boxes, and some were foiled and some were non-foiled. So non-foiled promos, yeah, it might be a little bit sought after, but again, it's kind of like it's not as much as say a non-foiled maybe McDonald's promo of Pikachu from back in the day, where they can be very, very popular and sought after at price. But if you have more of a foiled promo card of say Vegeta or Goku, they're like your big things. You've got to more look at those like the bigger characters of the series. You're looking at Goku, Vegeta, possibly Trunks, maybe like your Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, where anyone that watched the show, they were their favorite characters. They're the
Yeah.
cool characters. So majority of people are going to be looking at that as opposed to like Krillin or
Yeah. I mean,
like
let's be honest. No
Piccolo.
one's out there collecting Krillin. I mean, maybe the person that would be, I don't know if this is a thing, but like Master Roshi, he was for me like just because he was a funny character in the show, I would like collect Master Roshi because I like I like the way that they portrayed him in the show. He was pretty funny. So I don't know if that's a thing, but like I mean, everyone.
That's actually pretty funny. Like I'm looking for a Master Roshi card right now because I'm the same. I find him like hilarious, but no one has it because no one cares. There's no one collecting him, so it's like really hard for me to get one.
Mate, I think I got to start looking for some SCRs and SPRs of Yajirobe. That's the guy that I got to collect, I reckon.
Yeah, look, and that's it. That's a low entry fee as well.
Good way to
that's
get.
The thing. There are some people that will just go in and grab some of those characters that aren't sought after, and you can just spend a few bucks and have them, and then you're happy days, But again, they won't go for much. They won't go up in value, so to say, compared to Goku, Vegeta,
Now,
those guys.
Well, obviously those two are the most expensive. They'll be the most sought after. I think you've also mentioned to me before that variations on Goku and Vegeta. So if you're going for Vegeta or Gogeta, those cards, like those fusion cards, they're very popular. And also Broly is also another character that you were saying that is very, very popular in the hobby.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I would say anyone Goku, Vegeta, Broly, Trunks, and your Super Saiyan teenage Gohan are pretty much your go.
Definitely. Now, Dragon Ball Heroes. Do you want to explain a bit about what that is? I know you dropped this card on your page during the week.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, just head on over there. It is literally the first tile on the Instagram page. If not, it could be the second or third, but it's literally Ultra Instinct Goku in the middle, surrounded by like every variation of Goku around it.
Yeah.
This card looks sick. I did notice a few things when I looked at this card. All right. I noticed that you got another one blurred out in the background. I'm very observant with these things. So I've noticed that you got two, and then I noticed that you got an Ultra Instinct version, or is it two? Or have you got?
So I actually have three of those cards.
Three. There you go. There you go. So it's three.
Stacked, Thomas. Stacked.
I love it. So can you explain a bit about what Dragon Ball Heroes is? I know what it is because I'm a massive fan of the show. So I know what it is, and I've kept up with what's happening over in Japan. So if you want to give a good explanation of what it is,
Yeah, I stumbled across and I didn't know a lot about it because you got Dragon Ball Z, you got Dragon Ball Super, they're more your heavy watched and popular TV series. And you got Dragon Ball Heroes, which is so Dragon Ball Heroes is more Japanese focused. There's not a lot nothing you can't find around here in Australia. You can just go and watch, or you can buy the DVDs anywhere. So it's kind of you wouldn't know about it unless you were heavily invested in the Dragon Ball type world. And they've got a game over there in Japan. And I remember when I went to Japan 2 years ago, I was going into a lot of stores and they had this game that they were playing. I don't know if you've been there or seen it.
I haven't, but I know what
like
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a play mat that you could put cards down. And I had no idea at the time. Now it's all clicking. But I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. But I had no idea what was going on. And that you could put down your player cards and then you could fight with a character on the game. So you've got this actual game that you can play, but you need the card to play with that character. So that's where I think the card game of Dragon Ball Heroes is so popular in Japan because they have the actual card arcade games that you can play over there. Whereas we obviously don't have that here, so you would
Is that
have
on
no
your phone,
idea
like an app or something?
No. It's like if you go into like Time Zone here,
Yeah.
and they got like those big, like a Street Fighter machine where it's got the joystick and the buttons. Yeah.
Right.
There's a playmat section, so you put your card down on there, and then it comes up on the screen.
Oh, that's off its head.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
That's crazy.
And different.
Yeah,
I'm gonna YouTube this. I'm gonna have to YouTube this after this.
Yeah, that's why. Like, if you can pull a card, like, obviously, what Sammy's put up on his page, that card is a Dragon Ball Heroes card, and if that's how good a Dragon Ball Heroes card can look, and that's obviously a rare. I'm assuming that's a rare because then people aren't just going to be walking around with Ultra Instinct Gokus in their pocket for fun, like every single.
That's a secret rare. So that one is it. It has SEC on the top right, so a little bit different again to figuring out which one's more rare than other cards. That one had SEC on the top right, which is similar to Dragon Ball Super as SER, secret rare.
Is there a website that you've found or come across that you've learnt all this off, or has it just been through reading of forums or whatever it may be? Like, is there somewhere?
I just went reading and just figuring out on the fly type thing. I know that there's a company in Australia called DB Heroes, and they sell these cards as well. I think on Instagram they're DB_Heroes, and they must get them from Japan, and then they sell them to Australian collectors as well. And they have a website and it's just all based on these cards. But I didn't really find some information about it from there. So to say, I just did my own research and tried to figure out on the fly.
Now,
what got me? You're right.
Sorry, go. Sorry.
Oh, well, what got me into it? So I kind of basically, off just watching the markets, the card markets, Dragon Ball market, Pokemon, that it was kind of more of a like, okay, when everyone's so heavily focused on this, what can you kind of go off while everyone's zigging, you're zagging type thing. So I thought, well, what could I find that hasn't been found yet that I believe will be popular, could be quite popular? And then I just thought, when I saw the Dragon Ball Heroes, I saw some of the artwork. I was like, amazing artwork, number one. Like, they have some stuff that is probably better than the Dragon Ball Super stuff, like the English versions. And I was like, well, if some of this looks, a lot of the collectors are talking about it, saying, love the look of this card, love the artwork, love the foiling. So that kind of clicked in my head when I saw that through Instagram, go and check these out. So I went on, and it's quite hard to find, obviously, through the Australian market. So I found some stuff through the American market, shipped my cards, send it to there, because you can get things sent from Japan to America as well. So that helped me as a middleman to get them from Japan, because they won't come up on the Australian eBays to come across straight to here. I've got them sent there. And so going back to the zigzagging, I thought, well, if it's kind of worked for Pokemon, the Japanese sets have worked for Pokemon, and the promo cards, Japanese, like it's highly sought after, it's graded. a lot of collectors want it. And I was like, well, surely Dragon Ball will go the same way. And because it just looks so nice, no one really knows about it. Well, let's try and put it on the market and see what people think. And like as you've seen, like they're awesome looking cars, and it seems to be going that way. Yeah, so
I like it. I like
a little
it. Now,
background of
Saucy's brain is probably ticking at 10 million miles an hour at the moment because
if you really want to know what I'm doing right now, right?
All right, so Sauce, you were saying you're looking up something. Your mind's ticking a million miles an hour over these cards.
Yes.
So what do you?
Right. So what I'm looking up is anyone who's not familiar with the marketplace called Mercari. I believe it's like Japan's version of eBay. I mean, I think they do have eBay over there, but it's like bigger than eBay. So I'm thinking like Mercari would be the place to go where you could potentially find some of these cards, especially the Japanese version and not the English version, which has the DBZ Hero cards, which is what we were talking about. But you're going to have to be a bit tech savvy to get on here, because if you're from Australia, they do not let you sign up. I just tried to make an account right there as we're speaking to Sammy. So if you do have a VPN, I would suggest you just route your connection either to the US or to Japan and then create an account. And then if you've got Ship My Cards, you could add your Ship My Cards account to it to ship your cards to there. If you don't have a Ship My Cards, you could potentially join up to shopandship.com, and they would have a Japanese address, so you could actually get stuff sent straight to the Japanese address and then get that forward onto yourself here in Australia. But these are all the things that are running through my brain. How do I get these Japanese cards and straight from Japan? Because I feel like, although that he mentioned the guy that's buying them from Australia, he's obviously buying them from somewhere. So I'm like thinking, where is he buying them from? And I think Mercari would be the place to go. So that's a little tip out there. You will have to be a little tech savvy, as I said, to join on if you are in Australia. If you're in the US, I mean, by all means, go for it, because Mercari is actually in the US, and there's a .com version, which is all in English, and it's US based, so you can make an account quite easily. For anyone who's probably outside those regions, you're gonna have to VPN it in and make an account. So that's what I'm thinking. Probably after we do this, like, I mean, I can't chuck the VPN right now because we're obviously recording. We're doing a live record.
So it's gone all brain, man.
Yeah. So like, look, these are all the things that's going through my brain. How do I not just find these cards where they are? Because I mean, I can go on eBay and pay for them, but how do I find the best value for my bang for buck? And I think Mercari is going to be the place if you can jump on there, especially because people in Australia and other than outside the US probably aren't on that platform. So you just got Japanese and US people on there. So I'm thinking maybe that might be a play. I
got another question for Sammy here, Stalls. And if he answers it with the answer I'm actually hopeful for, your brain is going to probably explode, and you're going to probably have to hang up the call straight away and just go researching. But my question to you, Sammy, is, with Pokemon cards having a Japanese variant and an English variant, can we go out and buy Dragon Ball Super cards in the Japanese? As you said, they look like the Dragon Ball Heroes is a Japanese card. And there's no English variant of it. And look how sick the artwork looks, and the Japanese writing looks awesome on there. Is there a Japanese variant booster box I could buy alongside like an English one, or is it just English for Dragon Ball Super?
For Dragon Ball Super, actually, there is not that I know of, actually, that there is any Japanese version.
Okay.
And yeah, so Dragon Ball Heroes, I know you can get booster boxes for those, and you can get those through eBay. You probably can get them through Mercari, as we know now. But I would, the Dragon Ball Super, not that that's a good question, but I think
I've looked them up and I couldn't find any. I just wanted
to Bandai seems to be a bit more the American company.
Correct.
But Bandai has also made the Dragon Ball Heroes. So going back to maybe that's their Dragon Ball Super, because the art cards from the Dragon Ball Super is some quite very similar from the English Dragon Ball Super that we get to the Dragon Ball Heroes, because they have the Goku. So the most sought after Goku card in Dragon Ball Super is from the Tournament of Power.
Yeah.
I think that's you would have seen it before. It's the Awakened Power of Goku.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that card, there's a very similar one in the Dragon Ball Heroes artwork. So,
Okay.
and I think that's only going for around $100. So, if you looked at the secret rare of the Dragon Ball Super, that one goes for thousands at the moment. So that's like the Charizard of the Dragon Ball Super, they call it. And there's an art card very similar. Everyone's probably going right now and checking it out on their phone.
No, I'm not yet. I'm not yet. I can tell you what's
Yeah.
going to happen as soon as we finish up today,
I've
mate.
looked at it. I don't own one, but it's different. The artwork, it's very kind of silverish foiling as opposed to the blue and gold that Dragon Ball Super has. But they have the same move, and it's a secret rare as well. So very similar. Maybe the Bandai have made that the Dragon Ball Super, the DB Heroes over in Japan, and then we get the Dragon Ball Super English version. Yeah.
Hey, it's not bad. I like it. I like it. It's awesome. It's a fantastic topic. Well, we could talk for day. We could get to the point where we're just talking about our favorite characters in Dragon Ball Z. But it's awesome. You do collect other stuff as well, and like, thank you so much for that in-depth look into DBZ, DBS, and DBH cards.
Yeah, that's right. Dragon Ball 101 here on double coverage from Sammy. I mean, look, you as he said, there's he's just found it. There's no one place where he's found this information. It's just his deep dive into the internet and researching and understanding and the good thing is Sammy's done a lot of the work for you and he's just spit it all out on this podcast. So you're pretty much going to learn a lot just from listening to that first half of this podcast, and hopefully that helps you understand a bit more the Dragon Ball cards that are out there. And yeah, it's definitely helped me understand more about it. So I'll be listening to this back and re-listening to what he said, so then I can inform myself, which is the biggest thing when it comes to before you dive in and just start buying is research. We always say it, Dom, research.
The word, mate. Research is the word.
Understanding
King in the hobby.
What it is you are getting into. Because look, albeit once you get to the point where you want to just have some cards for your collection, you'll pick up some like lower level cards that you like, but you also want to pick up some nice high level cards that are going to maintain value, and potentially you can grade them and add them to the PC, which would be awesome.
Now, we're gonna move into a bit of your PC. We'll touch on this quickly. Your strategies when collecting NBA cards, and obviously you PC AI, Kobe, and Jar. So strategies on why you collect, on when you're collecting some of these cards or any NBA cards, and why did you pick those three guys to PC?
Yeah, so, well, number one, I'm just a big believer in collect who you like and what you like. So growing up through high school, I was a massive Allen Iverson fan, massive Kobe Bryant fan. So they were my two favorites. And coming back into cards throughout mid towards end of last year, that's when I caught eyes on Ja Morant. So he's very similar in my eyes to Allen Iverson. So he's kind of like my modern day Allen Iverson. And I just like his game and I believe in him personally. So that's why that's my PC. And it can also turn out to be a good PC, or it could go another way. Who knows with Ja Morant. But I wanted someone that was in the modern day, so it's a bit more fun for me as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's why I've chosen those three personally. But yeah, I collected more the rookies. So I dove into Kobe Bryant rookies, Allen Iverson rookies. I've sent quite a few off to grading, like everyone else, still waiting. But there was two sides to that. Like I wanted to collect a lot of the Kobe rookies. Obviously, what happened with Kobe. Like I wanted to capsulate them, and whether I have them or they go out in the market, I thought it was a good thing giving back to Kobe to have something for his legacy, as opposed to cards getting ripped up and torn up. It would be good for anyone else to have them in their collection or put them in their house. So I thought that felt good doing that as well. And yeah, I've just kept going with that PC as well.
Now he's got a nice tops paper here, Saucy. BGS 9. It's a very nice card, Kobe Bryant. Saucy also has one in his collection, or did you end up getting rid of it? But
Oh,
Saucy did have.
I've got a raw one.
It's got a
I
raw.
sold my graded one just because the run up on the prices, and I mean I was probably right to because they've come back down a little bit. And yeah, I mean I'll see how the raw one the condition is, and if it grades, I'm not really fussed. If it grades an 8 or 9, I don't really care. I'll probably just keep it regardless. But yeah,
But that is
looking to. I think the next big Kobe card that I really want to obtain is the 1996 Draft Redemptions. It's an awesome card. I think it's really cool. I mean that's come down a little bit in price, and I hope it levels off a little bit more before it sees another run up. Obviously, there's a few things coming up this year that's probably going to see some interest jump back into Kobe Bryant himself. And potentially, those goats. So, yeah, it's now's the time to be looking to maybe pick up some of these cards that some people previously maybe not, before if you were buying them, you're probably buying at the peak of the market. It's cooled off a little bit. So just, yeah, I think now's the time to start looking, I think.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Now, before we get into the last thing that we always ask is, what are you going to collect next? What card do you think's underrated in the hobby? I noticed that when was it? It was last week. You posted 3 surfing cards on your no, and you know what? I tell you, Source and I, when we go to look at something different all the time, the first thing we say is, and this is something that we got from Big Boy Movement. Yeah, he always said to us, if you're going to look outside the box, or even if you're looking within the sport that you want, collect goats. Yeah, that's what he always used to say to us. And he still says it. He lives and breathes just collect goats. Now, I never thought of surfing as one, yeah? So, like, Kelly Slater's like the goat of surfing. And you've got a Kelly Slater up on here. Is this his rookie card?
Yeah, so I mean, this is a really good topic to kind of go off. So I was just, again, thinking outside the box of kind of like, what do I like? What do I enjoy? And then and this is at a time which wasn't that long ago where you kind of saw everything kind of going up. The Dragon Ball Super started going up. I think people were going into like those Cabbage Patch Kid things or whatever they are. Whatever they are.
Marvel's getting run up, and just
Marvel was going nuts. Everything was just all this. I think, and then you saw Muhammad Ali. There was an art card of him with butterflies for feet and bees for hands, and that just was at like a couple of dollars, and it shot up to over 1,000 graded. And I just thought, well, there's all these goats, there's all these cards, all these things going up. I'm like, what about surfing? Like, I watch surfing all the time. I've grown up surfing. And I've heavily been invested in pro surfers, so I know kind of who's good, who's been good, and all that. So I thought, well, let's see if I can find any surfing cards. I had a look on, and I was like, hey, well, Kelly Slater. And when you think of it, Kelly Slater, he's probably one of the most decorated athletes of all time.
Not to mention he fought off a shark.
No, that was Mick Fanning.
Oh, that's a different one. Oh, shit. I'd get his card just because he fought off the shark, mate.
Well, that's my another point as well. A lot of people saw that around the world. People in Europe were messaging me about Mick Fanning, is he all right? He's Australian. Saw that shark attack. So you've got to kind of think, yeah, the market probably isn't massive for surfing, but there's a market for it. And there's going to be people searching for cards for surfing because if you've seen the fans, Brazil, Australia, even in States as well, there's diehard fans. They rush over to different countries and they watch the events and they live down there watching the events. We have a few down here in the Gold Coast and it's always just full on the beach of people. So there's diehard fans, so people are going to want these cards. I had a look out there, found the Kelly Slater. I think they won. I found an auto, and it was a bloke who he'd had this since 1994. I'm not sure how old he was, but I was just messaging him on eBay. And I thought, Jesus, got 0 bids. It's an autographed Kelly Slater card from 1994. I was trying to find some rookie cards, and they seem to be his rookie cards because there's not a lot of cards. Like basketball cards have come through every year. all the way through surfing, there hasn't been like a massive, tops or you know, big companies pumping out their cards every year. So there's only a few things. There's things that were in magazines and cards that were pull-outs in magazines.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at right now because that was from '93, Sports Illustrated one. It's got the perforated edges.
Yeah. I think I posted a photo. I've got it in my grading pile. And I think it was his rookie card, so to say, as well. See if I can get it. Yeah, there it is. So it's by Futera. I mean, it's an Aussie. If you can kind of see that. And that,
it's a nice card.
I think it's 1993.
I mean, you can't beat the action shots on these cards though. Like, let's be honest, you literally can't beat the action shots. Like they're. I mean, Panini could learn a thing or two about action shots from these surfing cards. I'll tell you what, because they don't seem to do a very good job at it. But it's an interesting topic, Doma, and we like someone who thinks outside the box, thinks outside the realms of the norms. As Doma, you know, us too. We are onto a few of these little. Niche pocket markets, and we are yet to drop some of the knowledge on people because we're just sort of still informing ourselves and getting familiar with the topic. But soon enough we will be dropping some of those bombs on people. But like we like the outside thinking. This is what the hobby's about. It's about finding a niche market that no one else at this current point in time is really looking at. And if you're buying it, the entry point at these Kelly Slater cards is so low, right? That look, and for someone like Sammy who loves surfing, I mean, you're not going to be upset if that card doesn't really move in value because the entry point on it's low, and if it does move in value, geez, the upside is huge. So you win both. You win on both levels. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm going to have these cards around my house regardless. Probably be very hard for me to sell them off. But if I got a Kelly Slater auto around his rookie year for $50 Australian, I'm laughing. If you're looking at what a Kobe Bryant auto or any other GOAT auto is going for at the moment in those heavy pump sports. So yeah, I mean Kelly Slater, Andy Irons was the other one I had as well.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I mean, if you know about his background, in my eyes, he's pretty much the Kobe Bryant of surfing. Sadly, he passed away, but he had 3 straight championships. They've got an event named after him at the Pipeline Masters, which is the biggest surfing event in the world, and he's a hero in Hawaii and in the surfing community. So, again, thinking outside the box, I picked those up for $8. They were the only cards I could find of his. I think he has a Goodwin Champions one as well. But yeah, that was the only other surfing action shot I could find of his on a card. And that was from when he's 16. So again, just another thought outside the box. Another great surfer that everyone loves behind Kelly Slater. He was the only one to rival Kelly Slater. So that was me in the surfing sort of realm, just to touch straight away.
I like it. And that's why we always said that there's always something for somebody in this hobby. Regardless of sport, entertainment, or TCG, there's always something for somebody. And that is proven with, obviously, you giving us a rundown on Dragon Ball cards and obviously with this play in sports cards, just with surfing. Like, and this is the thing. If this is what you love, this is what you collect. And as Sauce is saying, like, it's a low entry point. And not for anything yourself, you can just go buy up Kelly Slaters for the sake of buying them up, and just like, I want Kelly Slaters, you can grade them all. And then, not for anything, you keep some for your PC that you want to put around your place, whatnot. But then if there is a rise in value in the card, well, you're laughing because you can be like, yeah, you know what, there's only a pop 10 of these Kelly Slaters and I've got 9 of the 10. So, yeah.
Well, you just got to think about it in the long term as well. If you've got someone who's got 11 wobble titles, the only person I can match to that is Bill Russell in NBA, who has 11 as well. But Kelly Slater's got a lot of other titles from other surfing championships and events. So he's probably one of the most decorated up there with Tiger Woods and that in 100%. Terms of sporting world. So if something ever happened to Kelly Slater, I'm sure everyone's going to be running out to try and grab Kelly Slater memorabilia. If it's years to come or if it's, 20, 30, 40 years to come, that's going to have some value eventually.
Completely agree, and I love that play. Now, last but not least, obviously, any cards that you think that are underrated that you're looking at, but also, what are you looking to collect next? Is it going to be more surfing? Are you going to go into a different realm?
Good questions. I think underrated cards at the moment, I would say, again, looking outside the box, probably UFC might be a big one that I've thought about as well. There's a few questions above my head about whether to invest heavily or not. With UFC, some fighters only fight 1 to 3 times a year. The competition's so good, anyone can lose now. But it is a card market that is on the boom and on the way up, so that I could see them being underrated at the moment, especially names that aren't known so well right now, but will be known as that sport grows, because that sport's going to just get up there close to boxing, I believe. So UFC is huge. Surfing for me is underrated. I still believe it's underrated. Just trying to find the cards. So I believe people probably just have them in their basements and they don't even know anything about cards and they're just stuck in there. So they're not on eBay. You can't buy them anywhere until someone just decides to throw it up there. And you've got to be there at the right time. Other than that, I think underrated cards is going to be trying to find people that you like, things that you are into that you can find that no one else is really into at the moment.
Definitely.
That's what I constantly just go over my mind. And that goes into the next question of who I'm looking to collect next or what I'm looking at. I've been looking at, and I know they've gone up recently, The Rock, his cards. I believe anything that he's involved in just turns into gold. So, and I think you guys might have posted something recently about The Rock and his cards going up.
That was a Splash post of that. We gave a repost to him, but yeah, he definitely was all over that. But Saucy shattered because, that was his boy growing up. I still remember primary school and high school.
Just don't remind me, mate. Don't remind me. I'll just flash back 12 months ago, maybe over 12 months ago. I found the Rocky Malavia. It's like a yellow border, and he's in his blue trunks. It's like his first wrestling card. And I'll tell you, I think at the time, PSA 10 was around about 700 USD. I was like, is this really going to move? I don't know. I was onto it. Like an idiot, didn't pull the trigger. I think that card's now well up over 10K or something like that. Yeah, look, I was onto it. I didn't pull the trigger, and it haunts me. I go to sleep every night, and I just see that yellow border in my dreams, mate. And
but I definitely think that's it's a good one to collect next. If you can get your hands on some Rock cards, it's going to be big.
Yeah, I just believe he's probably one of the most popular people in the world in terms of liked from anyone, whether it's a bloke or someone's mum, anyone that they just adore him. He's just such a great personality out there in the world. Sure. And then for social media, he's just one of the most followed people on social media, and he's just going to continually keep going. Brings out the big blockbuster movies that sell out box office crowds every time he brings something out. So his stuff's just going to be going up and up. Yeah.
I agree. I reckon that's a good play. If you can get some Rock stuff, and then, when he runs for president, and if he becomes president, you got to collect his first White House card. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I looked into him. Another one quickly was Bruce Lee. I'm a massive Bruce Lee fan. I have a Bruce Lee tattoo on my arm. And he was just one of my heroes growing up, kind of like The Rock. Did see a video, someone, I think it was Sasha T, he got a Bruce Lee graded card. So I saw they were going up just recently. And they were so hard to find cards. But there's some martial arts card, it's a big card.
Yeah. Most
But
of his cards are in the Green Hornet card,
yeah,
the entertainment card. Yeah, I had a look at this as a play for us about 2 weeks ago, and I was crying. I'm thinking to myself, like my wife's father, he does kung fu, and he's like a gold belt. He's like on the highest you can get, and we've been together for a decade now, me and my wife, obviously going out before married, and he's just Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, like 2 weeks ago when I started looking into Bruce Lee, I'm like, Dom, you are an idiot. Like, you've been surrounded by Bruce Lee for the last 10 years, and not once have you thought to type in Bruce Lee trading cards on eBay and have a look. I'm like, you are a peanut. And then I typed it in and I went, yeah, I'm not even going to waste Source's time with this play. The cards are way too expensive.
Yeah, I know. I looked at it quite a while ago, actually. I didn't end up getting any either because I couldn't find anything that would be quite, I guess, strong in the market. There wasn't like Green Hornets.
Yeah.
A bit tough, but then there were some art cards that people have brought out, some artists, and then I didn't know that big kung fu card it is of his, the red and white one. Don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen that one, but I'll definitely go and look it up.
You want to have a look. It's a big card, like it's a kind of oversized card, but PSA has graded it as well.
Okay.
And that it's going up in price, but you might be able to get it for a good price, to be honest. That seems to be the best one that I've seen visually. But yeah, it's an oversized card. I don't know how popular that'll be. But yeah, that was another goat that I was looking into and what I'd like to collect.
I like it. I like it a lot, mate, to be honest. But it's been great chatting to you. Thank you so much for the insight into your PC, the Dragon Ball stuff. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so on behalf of myself and John, we thank you again. And to everyone listening, it's been myself, the Great Man Sauce, and Sammy D, a.k.a. all the rookies. Keep living, loving, and breathing all sports. It's double coverage. And peace.
Peace out.
Thanks, guys. Peace out.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports. Double curve.